You ever have one of those moments where time just stops, where the world holds its breath and you're stuck wondering what the hell's about to happen? That's what went down on a dusty stretch of Route 17 in Pinewood, Arizona, when a mom hit her brakes so hard the screech could have woken the dead her kid, a little boy, had just tumbled into the path of a semi-truck. And then, out of nowhere, a woman nobody knew dove straight under the wheels to save him. This ain't just a story about a close call. Folks, it's about what happened next, when 200 bikers roared in, shut down the whole damn highway, and turned a random afternoon into something nobody in Pinewood will ever forget. My name's Jake, and I was there, just a guy stuck in traffic, watching it all unfold, feeling my heart pound like it was trying to break out of my chest. Let me take you back to that day, 'cause this one's gonna stick with you. It was a blistering hot afternoon, the kind where the asphalt shimmers and your AC's fighting a losing battle. I was in my pickup, headed to grab some groceries, when I saw Ida Kid, maybe 6 or 7, dart out into the road. His mom, Sarah Jennings, slammed on her brakes, her SUV fishtailing, tires screaming like a banshee. The kid, his name was Tommy, had slipped her hand, chasing a damn butterfly or something, and now he was sprawled on the pavement, frozen, staring up at a 40-ton semi barreling down like a freight train. Horns blared, people yelled, but it was like the world hit pause. Until this woman, Ellie Harper, came out of nowhere. She wasn't a local, wasn't anybody's hero, just a 30-something in a faded denim jacket, probably on her way to nowhere special. But she moved like lightning, sliding across the asphalt, her hands scraping raw as she grabbed Tommy and curled her body around him. The truck's brakes howled, metal grinding, sparks flying like a 4th of July show. I swear, I thought they were both done for me, and half the crowd turned away, couldn't watch. But then, somehow, they rolled out from under that beast, Tommy clutched tight against Ellie's chest, her arms shaking but not letting go. The truck jackknifed, skidded, and crashed into the guardrail, kicking up a cloud of dust and smoke. Silence hit hard, the kind that makes your ears ring. Sarah ran to them, sobbing, dropping to her knees, pulling Tommy into her arms, kissing his dirty little face like she'd never let him go. Ellie staggered to her feet, blood dripping from her elbow, gravel embedded in her palms, but she didn't care. She just kept her eyes on Tommy, making sure he was breathing. People started crowding around, some clapping, some crying, but then the cops showed up, and things got messy fast. This officer, Lieutenant Dan Carver, strides over, all puffed up authority, notepad in hand, like he's about to solve a crime. Whose kid is this? How'd he get in the road? Ma'am, where were you? He barks at Sarah, who's still shaking, barely able to string words together. Negligence, he says, like she'd tossed her kid into traffic on purpose. The crowd's muttering now, phones out, recording, 'cause you could feel if this wasn't right. Sarah's a single mom, works double shifts at the diner, and yeah, maybe she looked away for a second, but who hasn't? Ellie steps up, her voice steady despite the blood on her hands. She's not to blame, officer. I saw a kid tripped, it was an accident. You want to point fingers? Point him at me for not being faster. Carver just squints at her, scribbles something, and mutters into his radio. You could tell he wasn't buying and wanted someone to pin this on, and Ellie's defiance was pissing him off. Now here's where it gets wild. Word of what happened spread like wildfire, and it turns out Tommy wasn't just any kid. His dad, Mike Jennings, used to ride with the Iron Reapers, a biker crew out of Phoenix, tough guys, loyal to the bone, the kind who'd burn the world down for one of their own. Mike died years back in a crash, hit by a drunk driver who walked away while Mike didn't. The Reapers never forgot him, or Sarah, or little Tommy. Ellie didn't know any of this when she dove under that truck. She was just a stranger doing what nobody else had the guts to do. But someone in that crowd knew the Jennings name, and a phone call went out. I'm sitting there in my truck, watching the cops circle Sarah like vultures, when I hear Ida low rumble, like thunder rolling in from the desert. At first, I thought it was a storm, but then headlights started breaking through the haze. 10 bikes, then 20, then more than I could count, rolling up Route 17 like a tidal wave of chrome and leather. The Iron Reapers had come, and they weren't here to talk. He didn't look at the cops, didn't care about their flashing lights. His eyes locked on Sarah, clutching Tommy, and Ellie, standing there with blood on her jacket and fire in her stare. You, he says to Ellie, his voice like gravel. You're the one who went under the truck. It wasn't a question. She nods, not backing down. Had to. He was gonna die. Bear tilts his head, sizing her up, then turns to the crowd. Mike Jennings was one of us, he says, loud enough for everyone to hear. He gave his life for a brother, and today, his boy almost paid the same price. Except this woman, she don't wear our colors, don't know our code, threw herself in front of death for him. That's family now. The cops tried to push back. Carver grabs his megaphone, voice cracking. This is an unlawful assembly. Disperse or we'll arrest you. Bear doesn't even flinch. He steps closer, right up to the police tape, and says, "You want to talk law? We're talking loyalty. That kid's ours, and this woman's ours now too. You don't get to blame his mom for an accident while we're standing here." The Reapers rev their engines in unison, a roar that shakes the ground, and I swear, I saw Carver's megaphone tremble in his hand. The crowd's filming every second, phones up, knowing this is bigger than Pinewood, bigger than any of us. Sarah's crying now, whispering to Tommy, "Your dad's family, they came for you." Ellie's just standing there, realizing she's not just a bystander anymore. She's part of something she never signed up for. The tension's thick, like the air before a fight breaks out, and I'm thinking this could go south fast. But then Ellie steps forward, right into the middle of it, and says, "Enough. This ain't about your badges or their bikes. It's about a kid who's alive. Let's keep it that way." Her voice cuts through the noise, and for a second, even Bear looks at her with something like awe. The Reapers shift their bikes, parting like a sea, forming two lines stretching down the highway. It's not a retreat, it's a statement. They're making a path for Sarah, Tommy, and Ellie to walk through, a corridor of honor. The crowd's quiet now, watching as Sarah carries Tommy, Ellie at her side, moving between rows of bikers who dip their helmets, some touching their hearts, others tapping their patches. It's like a funeral procession, but for the Lavinga salute to a kid who carries his dad's blood, and a woman who earned their respect without asking for it. When they reach the end, Bear steps up, offers Ellie his hand. "Mike saved one of ours. You saved his. That's a debt we don't forget." Ellie takes his hand, and I swear you could feel the whole highway exhale. The engines roar again, one last time, like a hymn to courage, to loyalty, to a moment nobody saw coming. The cops back off, knowing they've lost this one, not to violence, but to something stronger.